are these people?
Speaking of coming to a Substack near you, you can hit it.
Coming to a Substack newsletter near you.
I've been having some issues, obviously, with Substack lately. I've been complaining about their support or lack thereof. I had a situation where I couldn't, what they call a cross post between two publications. And every time I tried to raise this issue, as well as a couple of other technical issues, nothing was getting done. I would get this AI bot, and the minute that it became apparent that the bot couldn't resolve my issue, it offered to escalate my issue to a human engineer, but then gave me no guarantees or assurances as to whether it would be looked at, when it would be looked at, who would be looking at it, or if it would even be looked at. All right. So this is, again, I took out earlier in the week, that now there are two accounts that I have access to that can't cross post. It wasn't just my Indie at INN, but I also have access to the INN account, which is a separate publication, and I'm unable to cross post from there either. All right. This is so frustrating because every Saturday at noon, I cross post the INN newsletter to my Indie Media Today. Couldn't do that. Now, I was able to at the last minute, but the bot says, I understand your frustration with the cross-posting issue to your two accounts. I can't stand the apology from a bot. It's the most disingenuous thing
I hear you. I feel you.
I'm so sorry for your issue. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're a fucking robot. You're a program. Are you unable to see the cross-post option? Or is there an error message? So I explain my issue, and I say, I want to speak to an actual human being right now and don't want to be sent into nowhere space and have the bot terminate the session. Got it. I've sent this conversation to our team of specialists. If this is a payment or urgent issue, you'll hear back from us within a few days. Otherwise, please note that due to incoming volume, we aren't able to guarantee a timely response, or even one at all. We're sorry. We're sorry. Yes, Dissent and Bloom, very robophobic, okay? So I then got a little upset, and I said, how can a company that built its reputation on serving writers and creators fail so badly? I have a genuine issue and would like an actual human being to speak with about it. That apparently is impossible anymore. A play in two acts. Is Act 1 when I tell the bot that I can't cross-post and it asks me to describe the issue that I've been repeatedly having. Act 2 when I tell the bot that I want to speak to an actual human, bot automatically drops the request into an imaginary queue that doesn't exist and summarily terminates the session. I can't even respond any further. Welcome to Substack customer support, where you're on your own on the tech side, and if that's not good enough, well, you can just sit and stew and pound sand. Thanks, fam. And that actually did prompt a response from somebody, maybe, or another bot, but I did get emailed, hello, sir, what's your issue? And I gave them a repeated once again, even though they could see clearly what my issue was in the bot. Then it was, well, we tried it on our side and we couldn't replicate the issue, but then they saw an issue and couldn't fix that. We're escalating that to our engineers. No longer are addressing that part. Now it's just about my issue that, now they're placing the blame on me and they're gaslighting me. But this one really upset me. I found this article, came across my desk on notes, and it says that your writing is not safe on Substack. Well, we've heard about accounts being terminated. All right. And we've heard about publications being terminated for low volume. But this person, Nuck, I've never heard of. This was written in June, right? That this isn't what I was planning to write for my next article. But in light of some recent events, I feel I should share my experience, and the article I should be working on right now will be out in a few weeks. Last week, my account was suspended for around 40 hours. They were lucky that they got it back. While this might not seem like a big deal, and mostly it isn't, it's the way Substack handles it that's so frustrating. Perhaps my experience had more to do with my status as a free newsletter. Maybe this won't apply to everyone, but if you have a free stack and have never been suspended, this is what you should expect if it ever happens to you. And if you use notes, it very well could. And that's the reason why I brought this, is because they lost their publication because of notes. When Substack suspends your account, not only do they immediately remove your publication from public view, they won't even bother to inform you that you've been suspended. Unless you're the type of person who signs in frequently, your publication could be offline for days before you even have a chance to submit an appeal. In the meantime, visitors will be greeted with a plain white screen with bold black text that says "Publication not available," with a link directing them to other publications. Users signed into the site won't even see that unless they go directly to your Substack via URL. Your account simply ceases to exist. So they log in. When you do eventually find out that your account was suspended, you can submit an appeal. But the thing is, the only confirmation that anything was actually submitted is an easy to miss notification in the top right corner of the screen. You don't get a ticket or any kind of confirmation email, nothing. They don't use a ticket system. So now, not only has all your work been wiped off the internet, you're not even sure the appeal did anything. I actually submitted my appeal twice because I wasn't sure if the first one worked, and that's when I finally noticed the notification in the corner of the screen that says, "We've removed your publication from public view due to a violation of Substack's spam and phishing policies. If you believe this was a mistake, you can submit an appeal to our standards and enforcement team here." All right, here's another one telling them that their account is currently suspended. Something you posted may have violated Substack's spam and phishing policy. If you believe it was a mistake, again, submit here. So, of course, they did that. Right? So this is what's interesting, is that, all right, if your account is currently suspended, something you posted may have violated that. All right, so guess what? You can't export your data. Now, reminding us that Substack advertises that you can always own your intellectual property, that what you write is yours, but you can't export it now because you've been suspended. After that, you just have to wait. You don't get any information other than that you should get a reply within the next 72 hours. Oh, and I guess that this should be obvious, but you can't use your account in any way outside of submitting an appeal. Literally nothing. They go so far as to hide all your subscribers from you. If you try to export them, you just get an error message telling you that your account's suspended. So much for no gatekeepers. About 40 hours after submitting my appeal, I finally got a reply. And what did it say? It looks like your account was incorrectly flagged as spam. So none. I didn't break any rules, but Substack decided to treat me as if I did, and without any knowing one way or another. Nice. All right. So here's someone from, all right, there's the email about it. All right. I've corrected the issue and you should now be able to use it again. Why did it take that long? Seeing as they invited me to reach out, I did. I replied to this email asking a few questions about what happened and if they're doing anything to stop it from happening again. It's been a week now. No response. So I guess that's their response. Now, here's the thing. You might be thinking that this was some kind of bug or legit mistake, but I don't think it was. And I've had other people tell me that they don't think that it was a mistake when they got suspended either. I don't think Substack thinks that either. After my account was restored, I noticed that the entire previous week's worth of notifications had been deleted. So if you had notifications you were meaning to reply to, too bad, they're gone forever. What possible reason could Substack have to delete notifications of people contacting you? Because they know it's likely not about someone being spammed. It's to prevent you from looking at your replies to see who it was with the unhinged response to something you said. And what happened just prior to getting suspended? One of my recent comments had caused some oddly intense reactions. I'm assuming it was some offhand remark about how the image of inspo text someone posted didn't actually make sense. I can't be sure, but I was getting multiple salty replies about something like that in the days leading up to this. So I think I'd have a pretty good idea where to start looking if I was to try to figure out how this happened. That's likely the reason Substack deletes all your notifications for the previous week. If I was an actual spammer, I don't really see the logic in deleting notifications. Removing them seems to serve only one purpose, to protect the cry bullies by restricting your ability to see any of your recent replies. Permanently removing all replies is basically an admission that your suspension was the result of someone abusing the reporting system and not due to an actual mistake. So, this documenting a broken system that, as previously mentioned, I'm not sure it applies to bigger accounts, so an argument about the possible loss of income from being offline a few days because someone abused the system meant to help improve this site might not carry as much weight, but the way reporting is handled should be updated, regardless of who it impacts the most. If someone is suspected of being a spammer, what justification is there in removing their articles, which have no mechanism for being marked as spam outside of notes? If you're suddenly getting a bunch of spam complaints about an account and you're not willing or capable to look into it immediately, why not just limit their ability to comment and maybe hide their comments until you can confirm whether the spam complaints are legit or not? How can Substack justify removing a user's publication for the mere possibility of breaking a rule in notes? That's crazy. Substack is punishing innocent users not once, but twice. Once by completely removing their account from public view until they feel like reinstating it, which technically could be never. Shout out to Samara. I know that happened to him. And then, again, by deleting all their notifications and likes for the previous week. How is that in any way helping to prevent spam? How is that not simply giving a tool to the cry bullies among us? And why is Substack going out of their way to prevent the people abusing the reporting system in the first place? All great questions. Not to get sidetracked, but can we talk about how lame this entire situation is? This is a site for writers. Why are you here if you can't write your way out of a minor disagreement? Why are you running to the robot authorities? And why did making a false report seem like a better option than a well-worded retort? Well, anyway, right? Substack needs to address the issues within the reporting system. They need to address a lot of things. As it is now, it effectively invites abuse from a certain subset of hypersensitive and vindictive users while punishing users who did nothing wrong. Anyone using notes is leaving themselves open and vulnerable to having their publication taken down for however many days it takes for Substack to decide to reinstate it, if they so choose. If nothing else, I think making it known that abuse of the reporting system will result in some sort of punishment would at least reduce the possibility of any random user getting their publication taken offline because other users lack self-control. I'm also worried about a Zionist abuse of this, for sure, at some point. Mass reporting. Short of that, the only thing users can do to protect their writing from being taken down is not to use notes. And I'm guessing that's not the scenario Substack had in mind, but until they fix the reporting system, that's the only real solution beyond moving to a different platform, which I'm actually looking at doing seriously, looking at self-hosted WordPress. So all of these tracks from every playlist are on one long playlist. That's good. All right. So they're saying that they were targeted because one of their recent articles was getting Hollywood eyeballs on it. They might also delete your likes. I didn't think to check that while I was suspended, but checking now, there appears to be a gap in my list of likes, which is annoying if you happen to use likes as bookmarks. And for the people actually abusing the system, that's fucked up. All right. I guess he cut it off there. I don't know why. So subscribe and support this guy, Infrequency. I didn't really know this publication. I also have been talking to a guy named Mike who runs a publication, and he's been talking to Substack about like the possibility of transferring your publication to somebody else, another account, or what happens when you die, a legacy, and Can you pass on? Can you leave it to a beneficiary? They can't transfer it to their own account ever. Weird. Substack did not build that in to allow for that to happen. Don't really understand how that is, but just beware that, like, they own your content, really. I mean, they tell you that you own your content, but if they shut down your account, it's gone. All your work gone. So back up frequently. I've talked about that in the past. Make sure your work is regularly backed up. I've actually been tracking all of my new subscribers, which they will email you to you, and unsubscribes on a separate spreadsheet, because I don't necessarily believe the numbers that Substack is telling me as far as the number of new subscribers every 30 days or whatever it is. I also believe that they're unsubscribing inactive email subscribers and pushing them over to the app only delivery. Fred Edward in chat had an issue a couple of months where he noticed that after July 4th, he wasn't getting any more emails from us, and that somehow his selection had been changed. I figured out in the app where to go to find that. And sure enough, somebody had changed him to app delivery only, meaning he didn't get the email notifications anymore, because unopened emails is actually costly for Substack. So they don't want to send emails that don't get open. It hurts their open rates for their newsletter owners, but it also hurts with the spam filter companies, that the lower your open rate, the more likely you are to be targeted into spam or pushed as a promotional email. So I'm going to do some kind of a follow-up on that at some point, but I wanted to make note that Substack's having several issues, and the deeper I go with it, the worse it seems to be. So my advice is use Substack as a driver toward your own publication. Self-host your articles, put a tease or a portion of it over at Substack with a link to read the full article over at your publication. Kevin Gostola does that very well with the Dissenter and his Kevin Gostola stuff and things. All right, so we're, again, not monetized by YouTube anymore. Substack, we're monetized over there, so you can support us over there. But the best ways to do that with the least amount of fees is at Cash App, $ Indie News Network, ko-fi.com/Indie News Network. You got paypal.me/Indie News Network. We've got indienewsnow.com. That's our website. And then we've got INNnewsletter.com and IndieMediaToday.com. Again, Substack hosted. So we're talking about moving away from Substack. I would prefer you to use one of the others, but if you want to subscribe there, have at it. Really appreciate anywhere that you want to support our efforts here to spread the truth and to hold people accountable and to tell you what's going on with these platforms that nobody else wants to talk about, especially on live streams, because the algorithm doesn't really reward it. But I don't care about algorithms. I want to tell the story. Jamil Taib, welcome on Substack. Jamil likes all of our Substack posts. I really appreciate, he's a big supporter of the show, and we really appreciate people like Jamil. So I want to give him a shout out. Support independent media, because we need it more than ever. I love you all, and see you soon, everyone. Have a good night.
Mwah. Ciao, baby.
We are funny.
No! We just fucking lost the stream!
I think I liked it better being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines, and when I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. I thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. They both bleed us so dry.
My favorite songs don't hit the same way. I get to the end of a 4-minute track and I'm only looking back thinking, what did they actually say?
I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want me to say? You prove it's possible to sleep for days, and I still think you're right here awake. The cost of living isn't much to me, but God, it's so hard to say. And when they told you everything say